Welcome to the final episode of Champion of the Cheap, the contest where we take all the eShop games that cost under 50 cents, match them up into a bracket, let them battle it out until only one game will emerge as Champion of the Cheap. The two games that have toppled every other bracket so far and have advanced all the way to the finals are Dead Dungeon and Battle Sloth. However, before we get to the final championship here, to see who's the winner, who's the champion, let's take a second and pause and remember all the games that have fallen victim to the bracket so far. Now on to the two that have survived. These two games are going to be competing on 4 categories: graphics, gameplay, story, and fun factor. The graphical style for each of these games is vastly different. Dead Dungeon's graphics are more cartoony and animated. The characters and all the enemies seem to have personalities, and I do like that in a game. The levels themselves are somewhat minimal, but the graphics fit the style of the game wonderfully. Battle Sloth's graphics are a bit more pixelated and are far less polished. They're not terrible, but they do look like early PC games where they were somewhat homebrewed. I would have rather had them gone with the more graphical styling that's on the main menus and done a more cartoony look, sort of cel-shaded. However, they are not bad enough to really affect the overall experience. Dead Dungeons, though, is definitely going to take the graphics category. I also like my games to have somewhat of a story. Even if it's a ridiculous, crazy, way out there story, I like a story. I like to know why the main characters are doing what they're doing and what I'm striving for in the game. Dead Dungeon does a great job of this. We get a full story animation at the beginning explaining how an evil demon has taken all the souls and sweets of the village, and it's up to you to restore order. It's just fun enough to be entertaining, and it's enough to suck you in and notice you have a mission in the game. Battle Sloths literally has no story. We have several different mutant sloths who are on a rampage to attack each other, and we know they love pizza, but no story as to their motivation. I get that the game isn't played for a story. However, a funny little backstory like being a spin-off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would have been an excellent way to make the game so much better. Therefore, Dead Dungeon is going to take the category on story as well. Each of these two games has very solid gameplay. That's why they're in the finals. But let's break it down past that. Dead Dungeon is very much a skilled platformer game. You traverse the level searching for souls to open the exit while avoiding all the traps and monsters that have been placed in your path. The controls are very smooth, and when you fail a level, you know 100% that it was your fault. The level variety is enough to keep you engaged to the end, and with so many collectibles, there's enough to pull you back in for later as well. Battle Sloths gameplay is quite different, but no less solid. The gameplay for Battle Sloths is one where you take up multiple different weapons in an all-out battle against your friends. The viewpoint is always a 3/4 angle and is perfect for this style of game. It almost reminds me a bit of the old school Bomberman games, but with far more modes and weapons at your disposal. The controls are all pretty smooth to move around with though and to aim your weapons, and it's also very easy for new players to just simply pick up the game and give everyone a fighting chance. There are many more options, modes, and abilities than in Dead Dungeon, and all the modes are done smoothly. Because of handling all the extra, Battle Sloth is going to take the category on gameplay. The final category is going to be fun factor. Dead Dungeon is a fantastic single-player experience and has a lot to offer. Challenges that increase gradually with fantastic music to keep you engaged, far more than the average platformer. However, once the core game is over and all the collectibles have been achieved, the fun does come to a close, and there's little reason to come back to the game outside of the soundtrack. Battle Sloths, however, while not having a strong single-player mode, allows for endless hours of fun with its multiplayer. The tense moments between you and your friends as you take each other out with the variety of weapons is intense and gets you off the couch with anticipation. It's much more of an exciting game that will last for far more hours than Dead Dungeon is able to do. Because of this, Battle Sloths is going to take the fun category. We must choose one game to become the champion. The only truly fair way to pick the champion is to look back at our categories. Of these 4 categories, Dead Dungeon won the first 2 and Battle Sloths won the second 2. This seems to be a tie. However, 2 of these categories, they weigh way heavier than the others, and when it's a tie, I'm definitely going to lean toward a game that has better gameplay and more fun than graphics and story. This means that Battle Sloths is going to be the official champion of the cheap Year 2 edition. It was honestly a close run, and I hate to not pick Dead Dungeon, but Battle Sloths just created such an entertaining concept that I loved, controlled so flawlessly, and most of all, kept me having fun for hours. If you have not had a chance to download the game yet, I highly recommend you adding it to your collection, and you'll be surprised just how much fun you and your friends are going to have with it. But thank you all for watching my second year of Champion of the Cheap. This does wrap the series up, but there will be future smaller installments called Continuing the Cheap, where I still take some of the cheapest games on the eShop just on an individual basis and do a quick review, so be on the lookout for that. But thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. And by all means, go out there, find a great game to play, and just simply have a great rest of the day.